watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next, the Michigan City Historic Preservation Board meeting of May 23rd. You can find more information for this meeting by going to www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Okay, I want to call the meeting to order. And we will have roll call, please. Sure.
Okay, Joyce Dalton,
Present.
Amy Bowman,
Here.
Anthony Holt, absent. David Augustus, Dwayne Hurt,
Here.
Jonas Zimmerman, John Hendricks, I'm here. Roger Potratz,
Here.
Dan Granquist,
Here.
and we have a quorum.
Okay, very good, thank you. Guess I should follow the thing. We need a motion to approve the agenda with the addition of two things. So, John, do you want to make the motion?
Yeah, we have a motion, or I'm gonna make a motion to have the staff present the COAs first before the petitioners. We had decided this a couple meetings ago, and we tried it last meeting, and it seemed like it was out of order when we did it. So, I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. It passed, okay.
Thank you.
Now can I have a motion?
Then I move to add the other COAs recently submitted. I don't have the number, but whatever,
2022-026.
Yeah,
026.
okay. And then we also need a motion to accept the minutes as printed.
The second to my motion.
Second, I'll second Dan's motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same? Okay. We need a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Okay. I can't ask anybody if there's any correspondence since our staff was here. We will not have any of that. So we're going to go ahead and start with our COAs.
Okay, there are many.
Yes.
Looks like. So we are revisiting COA 2022-014. That was for the two-story garage with the accessory dwelling unit on top. So a new drawing was submitted with a porch on the front. Let me just say, there is no reason in either the building code for the city or for the historic guidelines to have a porch on the building. I checked with Sue Downs. I also talked to Skylar York to be certain about this. And he said there isn't. So I don't feel it's necessary, personally, just throwing that out there. But that's some background on that. So we took the COA, the staff report from last time, made a few changes. The changes were all in italics. So it's a little confusing to read, but I will try and tell you here. The only difference was adding the porch in the drawing. So the staff recommendation, finding of facts, the height of the proposed building is taller than most secondary structures in the historic district. The flat roof is not visually compatible with the primary structure. The roof type should match the primary dwelling. Secondary structures in the area do not typically have porches. Proportions of the front facade and openings and rhythm of solids to voids and entrances and directional expression are acceptable. So the recommendation, the proposed structure location behind the house and the style, location, window, and door openings meet the historic district standards. The roof style should match the primary structure. Staff recommends submittal of a design with a roof to match the house and no porch.
Are there any questions?
I got one. You said you're recommending a roof, right?
I'm recommending a hip roof like the house has, just to
Which is gonna take us even higher, right?
Well, that's the question that I've never been answered, is if that's possible without getting taller than the house. And I don't know that, to be
So
honest.
actually, technically, our house is actually a flat roof. It's just got a facade to make it look like a tent. Because I actually climbed up there the other day. Technically,
Okay,
but
well, it looks like
it does look like it is.
from the outside. I did some research. I mean, we don't have anything specifically in our guidelines that address accessory dwelling units. No matter how up to date we try to be on guidelines, by the time we get them published, there's always something new out there. So, we're looking at new construction guidelines. There's really nothing that goes behind the house, and looking also at what the city requires in a building. So looking at those, and then looking at some other cities that do have guidelines for accessory dwelling units. One thing they said, and they went particularly by style of architecture, so when they looked at your style of architecture, they did recommend either brick or stucco, so the exterior material of stucco would be appropriate, and since you already have some on your house, I don't think that part's a stretch. It was important to have windows that were very similar and spacing, and I think you've nailed all those. The only question to me is, if the roof could be put on as a hip roof and not be taller than the house, I think it would go better with it, but if it can't be, it can't be. I mean, you can only make the building so much shorter, I don't know if that's possible. That's a question I've had from the beginning.
Sure.
If it can be proven that it's not possible, because we definitely want that building shorter than the house, that would look really weird. So I just don't know if that's possible, and it's unfortunate that your architect was gone when we had the meeting, so I don't know.
He's on holiday.
So that's what you're talking about, that's the flat up there,
Right
right?
up in
So
there, it's
all
actually
that
flat.
is,
It all just leads up and it's flat across the top.
You can kind of see it in this one.
yeah, I'm looking at that one.
But I mean, it's not technically a flat roof.
Right. So what's the problem? Like what is stopping them from doing what they need to do? It's the height of the roof?
The pitch of the roof.
The pitch of the roof.
The pitch of the roof.
You see, in all these, it's
Right. It looks like it's, right, it's not.
Is it possible to, I notice you have a 9-foot ceiling in the garage.
I got a truck. And I don't
That's that question.
Yeah, so essentially we built the garage to go around his truck. So width-wise, like lengthwise.
And height. Right.
So, but just so we can pass the message back along to Larry. So it sounds like kind of revert back to the original plan, but change the roof on the original.
If that can happen without it getting taller than the house.
Maybe even add a facade like your house is.
Yeah,
Just add some, keep it flat, but just
Yeah,
add a little something.
just a little, so it's not just
Definition, sure.
flat. But otherwise, I think the design is very compatible, and I can't see that it would need changes, but that's up to the commission here to decide.
And what was the problem with the porch?
I think it's unnecessary.
Okay, all right.
I think it just is ridiculous and a waste of money. Put it
Okay,
on.
there you go, yeah.
So we were presented the three options of what we could do, and so we tried to go through and pick the lesser of three evils.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we'll pass that along to him of
Okay.
nix the porch, change the roof.
And if the commission was agreeable with that, maybe we could say it could be approved if that could be done, and then you wouldn't have to wait until the end of June to get the okay. So I
Because,
don't know
I mean,
that.
if we have to, we're more than happy to submit these changed plans to you to essentially kind of get that written approval, but we can pass that along.
Can we approve with those conditions, subject to verification?
Yeah, and it could be staff approved, and then we could write the approval letter based on their thing tonight. If I look at it and it's like, yes, this is good, I'll have Skylar look at it. and-
We'll send them a text as soon as we leave.
Okay, good, great.
You want to make that motion, Dan?
Yeah, Dan.
Okay, so we're approving as presented, subject to removing the porch and adjusting the roof with drawings to be submitted to staff for verification of compliance with the roof pitch requirements.
And this is located at 433 East 8th Street. Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dwayne. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We love seeing you, but
Yeah.
I know it's not.
Well, good luck. Yeah, exactly. Get that ball rolling,
We got more stuff
right?
moving.
Yes,
Right,
yes.
yeah, well, it's gonna be beautiful when you're done with it. I can't wait.
Protect that
A
truck.
20-year project, yeah. It's okay.
At least you started when you were young.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay,
One down.
right, now we'll do the COA 2022-018. 422 Franklin,
It's one of our many sign COAs tonight.
yes.
Okay, so 422 Franklin, it's a non-contributing rating building, modern style, built around 1975. The proposed project is replacing the existing metal face with a new updated, that should be logo, not log, sorry. Ugh.
Mine says logo.
That's what happens when you do it late at night. Metal, aluminum composite, flat metal painted sign to attach to the fascia. So, finding of facts, the sign replaces an existing sign, and B, the sign meets the historic district guidelines for size, location, material, and colors. Recommendation is approval as submitted.
Looks good.
Any questions? Then we need a motion.
Motion to approve?
Second, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? Thank you, thank you. Okay. Now we're going to do 2022-019.
Okay, this is for property in 600 block of Franklin Street, and there's nothing on it, it's a vacant lot. The proposed project is pouring a concrete patio adjoining 621 Franklin Street building, owned by Straylor Hardware Company, on permanent easement, 82.5 feet by 17 feet, granted to the hardware by the RDC. A cold water line, drain, and electrical panel will be included, originating from 621 Franklin. So the finding of facts, the concrete patio is similar to a parking lot and meets the historic district guidelines for such a feature in location and material. The water line, drain, and electrical panel should be installed in a location and manner to make them as inconspicuous as possible. And if attached to the adjacent building, should be attached to mortar joints to avoid damage to the masonry. Recommendation is approval as submitted.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay, we have a motion, do I have a second?
Well,
Do you have a
second.
question? Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Is the applicant here?
Yes.
Okay. Making Michigan City better, right?
That's right.
It's an empty lot,
Yeah.
right next to.
I do have a picture.
Oh, okay.
Is interested.
It's a pad for a food
Yeah,
truck?
it's a pad for a food truck. The roof will not be there, the concrete pillars will be there, and then this will be what it will look like.
And it's gonna have barbecue sitting on top of it. And it's gonna be a wonderful addition to our neighborhood, I believe.
She likes to not go too far from her.
Right, that's right. I don't have to walk far.
Just around the corner or down the street?
That's right.
What is the status of the lot?
They own it.
It's owned
They
by
own
the,
it.
Yeah.
Oh, you own it, okay.
Oh, yeah, they've owned it for quite a while.
Well, you would have had a pretty difficult time putting a building on there because my
It's not
understanding,
a building, it's,
I say you would have had.
yeah, oh yeah.
My comment is based on the fact that when this building was demoed, it was imploded, not taken away. So if anything was ever built here, then all that debris would have to be all dug out before you could even start, and that would be very expensive. So,
Yep.
as an architect, I've been involved with that in other buildings, and it gets to be pretty
I
expensive.
do have a question.
Yeah.
It says applicant name is Steiger Hardware. Is that what you go by for that building?
Yeah, it's, Robert Lake owns the building.
I know.
Yeah, it's Steiger Hardware.
But he keeps that.
That's the name of 613.
Well, I know, but I
Yes,
didn't
that's-
know technically, is that the applicant or is it Robert Lake?
Yeah.
That was my question. Thank you. Yay. So you're not putting a roof,
No,
just
just the concrete pad.
keep people from running you over.
Yeah.
Get that. All right, well, thank you, we appreciate that, and you're welcome to stay, or you do not have to. Then we're going to do 2022-020.
Okay, so this is for 624 Franklin Street.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And you'll see some of these are ones that we had last month as well, so we're kind of changing up the original request. So last month they were approved for window decals. So we're coming back now, talking about a 3D letter sign with raised trim. I think you've got pictures somewhere, yes. So it's non-lit, it's mounted to an aluminum composite backer. It's to be installed above the transom area below the second floor windows. So the proposed sign is sized and located correctly. It's made of appropriate material and of a compatible color for the historic district. The sign should be installed with new holes in the masonry joints only. Proposed sign will be installed directly above the transom, therefore the decal sign, which was approved last month, in the transom is no longer necessary. So looking at not that one, but this one, because that's rather redundant. This was just approved because they thought they couldn't do this, but there's no reason they can't do that.
Yeah, so we were told, this is for us, we were told that we couldn't have any signage in the front and that we can only have signage on the side of the building, which I thought was very strange because that side of the building isn't actually owned by our building, that part is owned by the church.
Yes.
So when that got denied, then we came back and said, okay, even if it's a smaller side in the front, that's actually more beneficial to have front signage. Until just now, from Mike, I didn't know that our black rock on there would not be staying.
Yeah,
So-
they did mention that, but I
Okay.
didn't think that was gonna be, because like, it is kind of,
Okay.
it'll be right above it, so it'll be kind of.
So is there nothing allowed to be on there then?
Well, there would be this one and then the one by the door.
Okay.
So.
Would they allow that one on the upper transom to be above the sold, or,
Be above the what?
like, would they allow the one that was on the upper window to be above the sold instead?
Yes, I wouldn't want anything blocking the window because I wanted to see them,
Yeah.
but those windows kind of look not great up there without anything on them. They just don't look nice, but that's fine. I also was told that we weren't allowed to have any lit signs anywhere, so I just want to make sure that like if
You can have, they can't be like a backlit plastic sign, but the channel letters where just the letter is lit from behind has been allowed before.
okay.
But you can have exterior lights like shining down on them. They can come from wherever, up, down, or however it works. So it shines as much as possible on the sign and not everywhere else, but they can be lit that way. It's just a plastic sign that's internally lit are ones that they don't usually recommend.
If there's external lamps that are shutting down, then there has to be some compatible design.
Yeah, and there honestly there wasn't a whole lot of room to do any like gooseneck lighting on the building to have a sign. The sign would be
Since
very
you're
small.
right under a window, there's
Yeah.
not much you could do there, really. Lit, but those were, sometimes they have the letters that are lit from behind. Those have been approved before, because that's a different thing than the
It's not bright and shiny.
Right, yeah,
on the
this
street
was
there.
like Dollar General.
We don't want the carnival on Franklin Street.
Yeah. So something, very subdued could work.
Would this one be able to do you want to do that, or would it be able to be converted to that now, or no?
Yeah, I mean, if that is possible, I have an email from Aaron stating that the only type of lighting that was allowed was gooseneck lighting, and measurement-wise, that just didn't make sense to us at all. So I did not request that to be changed. I mean, if this would have been allowed the first time, we would have asked for it to be up there the first time. But yeah, I mean, if the more visible, the better. I don't want something that is crazy lit up either. But it would be nice for it to light. I mean, in the winter it gets dark so early.
So that could be then, like the way that her sign is set up, I would do it as a push-through acrylic sign, which would be this but without that green glow. So the background doesn't light up, but the letters light
The
up.
letters light up,
But this green glow wouldn't be on there. This is in
that's the difference.
St. John.
Yeah.
But the letters are actually the letters are actually made out of this, and this part glows, and so it pops through an aluminum composite backer. So like if you want to go could we convert that now, or would we have to raise?
You guys have been through an awful lot.
Is that what you'd want to do, or?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, could we have something where we can do it, the one we submitted, or that? But I mean, because we haven't looked at pricing
Yeah,
or
'cause it'll be-
electrical or
it'll be
anything.
different.
Yeah, we haven't discussed anything.
Either one of those would meet the historic district guidelines, so then it's up to the commission how they want to move to do that, but either one of those would meet the guidelines, where it's just the letters that are lit. But overall, I would recommend approval of the sign in whichever version they think is good. Like I said, I think it should be, make sure that the attachments are in the masonry joints and that the vinyl decal goes away, because that seems very redundant to have those two right there together, but I know you just said that because
Yeah,
of
so I guess
this.
with the, with then what those windows are, there is a very old, peeling kind of tint on them. Would that be able to be redone exactly what it is, just new, or it's no change in
That's
color,
just a
but it's
maintenance
just,
thing,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
so.
Does it actually have the small glass block?
No.
No, it's not, it's just a window.
Yeah, just plain glass.
And what about the
Just-
Brinkman sign? Did that ever get addressed about that being painted over?
They painted down here?
No, up above, that one right there, above the middle, the black sign.
Oh, right
Yeah,
here.
that's where it says the Brinkman building, that's painted over black.
That's in the.
Yeah.
It was black before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have the picture
Wow.
from I submitted it, it was
Maybe.
always black.
That's
The
crazy.
next COA 21 is for the painting,
Wow.
so.
Okay, so let's do this one first. Do we have a motion?
So based on discussion, we approve the staff report with the two alternatives of backlighting the letters, or what was the second one?
Or just the sign,
Or
the sign
just the sign
that
with
is
no lighting.
unlit, yeah.
But the sign would be approved, and the backlit letters only would be an alternative approval.
Do I have a
Does that make
second?
sense?
Yeah, so, do I have a second?
Makes sense.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you, Dan. Okay,
Does that make sense? Okay.
okay, now we're
Hopefully,
gonna
lots of
do
business.
2022-021.
Second. All right, same place, different project. So this project for 624 Franklin is painting a previously painted surface black. No brick was painted, the paint used was Sherwin-Williams Tricorn Black, and the work has been completed. Finding of fact, the work was done without an approved COA. No previously unpainted surfaces were painted. Color and work could have been approved by staff. So the recommendation is approval.
Okay. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second, please.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, same. Thank you. Okay.
All right, Archie. All right, we have COA 2022-023, applicant is Noel Carlson.
Excuse me, can I ask a question?
Sure.
What's going to be done with the side of the building? You know?
So, originally, the owner of our building, so I'm the tenant there, the owner of our building said she does not own the side of the building. The side of the building, if you stand in front of the building, it's about almost 10 inches out of other old brick, and that was a building that was tore down, and that part of the building and the parking lot is owned by the church.
That was brought up about a year ago. The pillars are the only thing that are not Carol's. The side of the building is Carol's, but the pillars, like she just said, stick out. And I think there's 5 or 6, but that's the issue.
Is that the Spalding Hotel, would that be
Yes.
the leftover?
Yes. And we have been advised if they tear those down, it could damage the
All
wall.
of their integrity of that.
So-
Because it's tied in.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been an issue for a long time, but she owns the wall between the pillars, if that makes sense.
It just aesthetically, it would look so much better.
Oh, absolutely, yeah,
Yeah, it's not.
yeah, yeah.
It still says trestle and,
So
right?
part of our sign approval last month, before
Yeah,
this one,
was
was
to
to
get rid of
take
that.
down the Bank of England sign, which is my location, and then take down the trestle sign, which is the other location
Right.
he's working on.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
and we had originally submitted
Yeah.
signs for that
Right.
side
Yeah,
that were
but then you
denied.
don't have to do that. Now you can do the one in the front and not have to worry about the side.
Okay.
Okay, now we're going to move, and you're welcome to stay, or,
I'm gonna say just because this building is attached to mine,
So
so.
is something happening with the one next door? Or still?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that.
That got added on, so you
Okay.
gotta sit through the whole
Okay.
thing, bless your heart. So, we're getting there.
okay, we're doing 2022-023.
Okay, this is Noel Carlson, 119 East 9th Street, non-contributing commercial building, built around 1925. Description of the proposed project is eliminate a 6-foot by 10-foot brick structure on the south end of the commercial building at 119 East 9th Street. Note, again, the work has been completed already. Finding of facts, work was completed without an approved COA. The building is rated non-contributing. The subject area of the building was seriously deteriorated. The subject area was not an original part of the building. The subject area was at the rear of the building. As the subject area was a hazard to safety, not contributing to the historic character of the building and not visible to the street, demolition is appropriate. Any bricks remaining from the demolition should be saved on site and/or reused. Recommendation is to approve with the condition of saving and/or reusing any remaining bricks.
Is there somebody here representing?
Not for
No.
listening. Okay.
No,
I'm sorry.
no,
Uh,
tearing off a little room, you're not doing that.
That was an addition, anyway, wasn't it?
It was, yes, and it was in terrible shape. I think there's pictures here. It
Yeah.
was bad, really bad. So it did not add to the character of the building in any way. There's the picture of it. This was so deteriorated, you could see the steel lintel up here at the top, the bricks had all fallen away, and then there's big cracks down here. It was not a safe situation.
Okay, we need a motion.
Approve the recommendation.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, same. Thank you. Okay, now we're doing 2022-024.
Okay, same applicant, same address, but there's 2 buildings on the same property. The commercial one we just talked about and this residential one, and they both fall under the same address. So this project is removing the second floor window on the south end of the house, currently attic space, for the purpose of installing a shower on the wall where the window is currently. Close the window opening with framing and wall sheathing to match the existing, cover with vapor barrier, install custom-made 1-inch by 5-inch pine beveled exterior siding to match the existing. Use random weave pattern to help disguise the siding patch. Paint the siding patch to match the existing siding. Finding of facts, the window is on the rear elevation of the house. The siding will be installed with staggered joints to blend the filling opening in with surrounding siding. The location, materials, and installation method meet the Historic District guidelines. Recommendation is approval.
Okay, any
I
questions?
so move.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Actually, it's unbalanced the way it is now, with the window off center.
I agree.
Kind of been that way.
Yes, yeah, I'm not sure what that was about to begin with.
I've been accused of going in people's houses and straightening windows, pictures, so.
You want to straighten the window.
Okay, 2022-025,
Okay.
225 West.
Fifth Street. This is not a historic building. Was built in 1990. It's rated non-contributing. So the proposed project here has many parts. There's 6 parts to it, actually. First of all is a new glass entry door to the outdoor patio, which will be located in a black wood security fence. Second part is relocating the exterior gate to the east to allow for the secure entry. Third part is adding roll-up windows on the east wall to allow for bar seating from the outside. Fourth, replace the northwest window with a new doorway. So that's on the west side, the farthest north window. Fifth, extend the perimeter fence south of the proposed northwest doorway and tie into the building instead of at the northwest corner. And then a new pergola with a retractable sunscreen over the outdoor bar seating. Colors will match the existing building, a pale yellow, dark red, black, and white. So the finding of fact, seating area fences, this is from the Historic District guidelines. Seating area fences should be no more than 36 inches tall and be at least 50% open visually. Security and screening fences should be no more than 6 foot tall. Glass entry door requires an 8-foot wall height. 8-foot blackwood security fence with glass door is incompatible with the existing building. New windows should match those on the other facades. So staff recommendation for the first part, the new fence and door is just taller. No matter whether you look at it as a fence surrounding the eating area or as a security fence, it's still taller than what the guidelines recommend. But then that doesn't allow a 6'8" door to be installed in a fence that's shorter than 8 foot. So it's a dilemma, but based on the guidelines, that should be denied, and there should be a new design that works with that. That's just the way that is. Number 2, relocating the gate. That's perfectly fine. Approval as submitted is recommended for that. Number 3, installation of a new window. A folding window would be more appropriate in that opening, but given the non-contributing rating of the building, a roll-up stainless steel window could be approved as submitted with the condition that it's trimmed to match the existing windows. And just a side note, we discovered when we were out there that the crowns aren't installed the same direction on the windows. If you drive by there, it'll make you crazy. One's right side up and the other one's upside down on the west side.
I've noticed that before because.
Just a side note.
That.
Yep, I have my things too, Roger.
That's funny.
It definitely makes me nuts. Anyways, try to install it right side up. Number 4, replacing the west side window. Approval is submitted of replacing the northwest window with a new doorway. Number 5, extending the fence. Approval as submitted of extending the perimeter fence south of the proposed northwest doorway, tying it into the building with the condition that the new fence matches the existing in type, style, size, and material. And finally, the pergola, approval as submitted of the new pergola with the checkable stone.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Concerning the fences, you said no taller than 36 inches, but excise rules are if you can have outdoor seating, you have an adequate height of no more than 5 to 6 feet. So how does this clash with excise versus the historic district guidelines?
Well, the historic district has its guidelines, and then whatever the city has supersedes anything else. So we can say something here, and then it can be changed because of what the city
It's just a
allows.
security of the alcohol issue with excise, you know, being, that's what I'm.
It's something they don't address in here. I
Okay.
mean, we just don't. It's probably something we should actually add to that, because outdoor seating is becoming more and more common, so it's probably something we should add
Yeah,
to
because
the
the
guidelines.
reason I say that excise has approved outside drinking because of the height of the fences that's existing there right now.
Right, I know that fence that's there is more than 3 feet.
Right.
Absolutely, yes.
And we were thinking of putting an external exit, but that's why we put that 8 foot, so it'd be a permanent structure. It's not like a little fence that somebody can push through. It'd be locked up and secure. So that's why I asked Shem, who is the architect, to make it a solid structure, solid door entrance. So it's not just like a little flimsy thing that somebody thinks you'd probably need to go through the main restaurant to enter into the alcohol section of the outside dining area. So I know he's a representative for the architects, and he's taking note, and I'm trying to get some more knowledge of what is and what cannot happen.
Yeah, we met on site last week and looked it over. Actually, at that time, I didn't know what the height requirement was, to be honest, until I got back and checked my guidelines. And then you checked with the building department, and I checked with the building department, because I hadn't heard from you, and I got the same thing. Eight was as high as they went, so, and I don't know, this was 8.5 spec'd out.
Right, yeah, we can lower it to 8, and that does match the underlying zoning code for the district, but obviously that would be the city would have to approve that,
They'd have to approve that.
on top of the historic review content. So I guess, so Jermaine, to your point, it would be something so that the city would have to determine then if it's, from the zoning standpoint of it, if the 8 foot is allowed in the zoning district, so we could do the 8 foot, but the city would have to look at the recommendation from the historic review and then determine whether they would want to comply with the historic review or if they want to comply with the zoning district.
Okay. How about the 36-inch height fence? That was already approved by zoning district.
We're not asking you to put in a 36-inch height fence.
No, I'm saying that one is there already, so
Yeah.
will that be an issue?
No,
Okay, cool. No problem.
no, that's not a problem. It's just the 8 foot is higher than what the guidelines ask for.
Yeah, but if,
Especially in the front. They will allow it, like around the dumpster enclosures,
Right.
then it's allowed. But as far as the security fence, it's just higher than the guidelines allow. So that's up to you. The other things all meet the guidelines, but that's the one that doesn't. It's just you can't have the door without it, so.
Why not just put up a door? Would the door be okay without the fence?
Oh. That will look fine.
No. Okay. Take for instance, Zorn. On the outside patio, it's just a metal frame, and that's a secure entrance to the outside. So that's what I was referring to. Just put up the door. You know, it's a secure entry. Nobody can just walk on in there, and it's a solid structure. So we can just take off that extension of the building. If you're looking at it right now on the drawing, he has like an additional vinyl wall coming towards that door, and it attached to that 8-inch that entry. So can we just get rid of that part and just let the door stand by itself? And
With the fence.
you think that'd be okay?
With the fence,
on the left instead of the one.
As an option.
I guess I'm dense on this. I'm sorry. And I worked for an architect for years. I should be able to visualize.
Can I come over there?
Yes, absolutely. Come over here. Tell me what you're thinking.
Okay. So he put this in here, so we get rid of this, keep it back to the same height as the fencing. So this doesn't look like it's a continuation of the building going towards the door.
Right.
So we reduce back this to the regular fence height of the whole complete fencing around here. So actually you can look from here over into the whole place as you're looking from the street. And just forget about the whole siding and the 8-foot going all the way up there, and just have a more anchored structures for the door.
So use this type of fencing
On
for
the other
this,
side,
on
right
this
there.
side over here,
Yeah.
and then you just have this door that would stick up slightly, but just a frame.
Yeah, there's a frame entry doorway.
Next to the building.
I think that would work.
I'd go with that.
Yeah. Does everybody
Life
understand?
easier, you know?
Does everybody understand? Okay. Removing
Can
the,
you ask my architect if he understands this? That's a big problem.
removing this and moving the door over next to the building.
No, the
No,
door is
it would be like
the
this.
fencing.
but we're moving
So
that
we have
extent.
fence at that height, that same fence, it'd probably have a little, it's got a bit of a curve to the top, so it's
Okay.
got a little bit of a curve
So
to
you're
the
gonna put
top.
fence there instead of this.
So it would have the same vertical
Gotcha.
fence like so, and then it wouldn't have this round thing on top, it would just be a square frame,
Okay.
which would really look better.
I like that too.
Actually, the fence would look better to be flat too.
But he's already.
It's already there.
So we're not gonna argue.
Excise won't let us operate with that, without that, you know.
Okay.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
So this is the part that we're questioning right here.
Okay, we had 6 total, right?
Yes.
All right, make a motion that the 5 be
Put a
approved.
fence on this side of the door.
Actually, all 6 with the added directions to change the fencing.
6 with the change to the fence.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, same. Okay.
Come back.
Thank you.
That's exciting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds.
Bring me more food. I'm hungry.
Right?
Bring us all the food.
Two country food.
I
so
can't
like
wait.
And Jamaican.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Woo, that'll be exciting.
Okay,
Okay, so we need to go back.
now we get
Great.
2022-026, the added on
Okay.
final sign that you waited all evening for.
All right, thank you.
Yes, so again, this is one we're revisiting from last month.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This is one I'm not 100% sure what all went on here.
What's the address?
It is 622 Franklin Street. And so this is one that was only approved for decals last month. Even though they had asked for more,
622.
they were told they couldn't have it. So all they asked for was decals. So
I've got 521. Is that their address or?
No, it's 622 Franklin. I just sent the COA application out
Okay.
today, actually, because it occurred to me that you guys wouldn't have that. So, again, we're looking at some changes here. So then they're asking for new signage on front of 622 Franklin Street that is 3D and lights up. So there will also be another sign on the same building facing East 7th, which will be lit as well. With both are metal pan faces, this will hide wires and prevent less holes drilled into the building with pressed-through acrylic, half-inch thick, that's all glossy, which I'm assuming is what we were
Yeah,
seeing
so-
earlier.
So the one on the side of the building, if that one's allowed, the south side, would be like the push-through acrylic, which is like this option, but without that halo around it. And that's that's letters like this that push through and they glow because I have LEDs behind them. But the one on the front would be more like I mean, we did Radius downtown Valpo if you want to pass those around, but the one on the front would have those as the bigger letters, but the smaller letters would still be pushed through like this, if that makes sense. But on the other side, it would be all pushed through, so they're a little bit different on each side. So
So that's what they're looking at, 2 signs, one in the front, and this again will go in that area above the transom and below the second floor windows. So just like we were looking at a couple COAs ago here. Same sort of thing, just different business on the other side, and then looking at one on that wall on the south side.
So are you gonna have the BlackRock and the listing leaders on the front and then
Correct.
on the side too, or just the?
Maybe in the future, the south side might have a
Yeah, so I
BlackRock,
did
but
put an application in last month for the south side and it was denied.
yeah.
And the only reason I put it on the south side really was because I was told they couldn't have one in the front. And that is that's our side, we're closest to the side. So I don't know, I didn't.
We approved the sign that's on there now at the Bank of England a couple years ago. The understanding that I got when I asked why it couldn't be there was that that's not a corner building, but it kind of is.
Yeah, we did Bank of England, and I went through the process when we did it. So but we did it like years ago or whatever. Maybe it was 3, 2.
Yeah, I think,
And,
83.
So but at that, so I was confused too, but I don't, I mean, things change always,
They
so
do,
I always
they
get
do.
surprised.
So I'm not sure.
Well, technically it is not on a corner, but some of the city officials feel it is a corner. So I think that's where some of the
I
confusion.
don't think anybody's gonna build beside it
No.
anytime soon.
Oh, they
so-
can't, right? The church owns the
Yeah.
parking lot. They're
The
not gonna
church
give that up.
hasn't fixed, well, anyway,
No.
we won't go there, but no, I don't think that's gonna happen.
No.
And if something did get built there, the signs could go away, you
Yeah,
know,
I
because
mean,
they wouldn't be doing you any
Yeah.
good at
They're
that point.
removable.
So,
It's not,
yeah,
that's not gonna happen.
just, anyway. So the finding of fact on this one is the proposed Franklin Street sign, facade sign is sized and located correctly. It's made of appropriate material and of a compatible color for the historic district. The proposed south side sign is also sized correctly, made of appropriate material and a compatible color. The guidelines say signs should be externally lit. Internally lit plastic signs are generally not approved. However, individual letters with only the letter face illuminated are appropriate. Signs should be installed with new holes in the masonry joints only. The proposed sign will be installed directly over the transom, therefore the decal sign in the transom is no longer necessary. So approval of the Franklin Street facade sign, I recommend approval of that as submitted with the following conditions. So this will be on the front of the building, that only individual letters are illuminated. Attachment is made in masonry joints only, and the vinyl decal approved previously will not be installed in the glass transom area. Then on the south side sign, if the commission determines installation of a sign on this deteriorated facade will not be detrimental to the historic character of the district, I would recommend approval with the same conditions.
Any questions?
I have a question for them again. I want to make clear, is the only reason that they can't finish that wall to make it wood-based because they don't own it?
The wall belongs to the owner of the building.
Okay,
The pillars that are
Right.
on it supposedly by the city say the church owns them.
but the wall could be painted then? No?
Well, you'd have to come, if you wanted to paint something, you'd have to come before us. You can't just paint. That's what happened when she painted all the black without letting the city know she was doing that.
Actually, it would paint wouldn't work there because you'd have to have some kind of plaster because of all the grooves in the tile.
Yeah, it'd have to be some kind of parking
It'll just
or
be
something.
better with just without the trestle, and it's just such misinformation. It's like
Yes.
people are so confused.
So many
by it.
weird signs.
Yeah.
It's just an eyesore the way it is. So not your fault.
No, it's probably gonna be that way for a long time, because one person's told one thing, another person's told another. Yeah, that was the confusion. How can pillars that belong to a building that was tore down years ago not belong to that wall?
That makes no sense whatsoever.
I know. It just doesn't.
Especially when they're holding the building up per se.
Just change ownership.
It's part of its
Ownership.
actual
And then when you're told that if you take those off, that building, that wall could start to
collapse.
crumble, then who's responsible for that?
Who owns those pillars?
We're all,
Sure, well, that's it. They,
acting as what's called a pilaster,
Yeah, right.
stiffen the wall.
So have the church quick claim deed it to them and be done.
Yeah, that's what they should
the
do.
wall,
That would be good.
I don't know if you can do that.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, there's legal remedies, that's outside the jurisdiction of our commission.
That's right, yes.
Seems so redundant.
Well, and then if that happened, and then that wall would come down, who's gonna be responsible for that? Mr. Lawyer.
Yeah. There's legal remedies, there's easements, there's purchase agreements and real estate and all that.
Yeah.
And I think the owner of the building has researched that, so, and I'm not involved in, so I don't know, but, okay.
All right.
We have a motion,
Yeah, I make a motion that we approve according to staff's recommendations.
do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same.
And that's both
Is that A and B?
Yes, okay. Thank you.
So I guess I have a question. My side sign got rejected last month. I didn't submit a new one this month, so where does that leave me? Do I have to wait another month? I don't know what to do now.
What sign are you talking
So
about?
we are two different businesses, so that was the confusing thing. We're one building, we're actually two real estate companies next to each other. Mine is actually the closest to the wall, so that is my building.
So you're at Black Rock.
Correct. And then theirs is next door. And so I was told we could not put a sign on the south wall. It was denied last time, and I definitely was told it couldn't be lit. And now the same kind of business next to me is gonna have a sign on my wall. So I'm just like, I don't know what to do.
That's,
So-
I had asked about that the other day, and I don't know who I asked.
Yeah, that was me. And
Okay.
then, that's what, and we weren't sure, cause
If you
that's
still
what we
wanted
talked about,
that.
I think yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So,
Or the day before, but I originally had it drawn up where Bank of England's was, and then Listing Leaders was above it. So like, so I think what she's asking is, would we be able to include hers into this one?
so that would give you then, let me see if I'm understanding that right. That would give you the sign across the front above the transoms. It would give you decals on the storefront window and the door, right? It would give you the sign on the south side if they approve that.
Which, yeah.
Hers was like
Which is
right
the same what
underneath,
they're-
it was right
Right.
underneath the exact same
Same thing.
size. And if she chose to either go lit or raised lettering, could she then, I guess?
And are you still doing the blade sign on the corner?
Well,
That-
that was
that
just
was-
there, so I said I'd fill that in with, so that we didn't have to, because it's like screwed into the brick, but if that was to be, I don't need that, it was just there, I was just utilizing it.
I mean, in my opinion, it would seem cleaner to have two signs on the south side and not have that blade.
Right, yeah.
That seems really busy.
You don't need the blade, you just need the signs on the corner and on your front.
Correct.
So if you had-
Last month?
Last month, yeah.
I'm not seeing it in the meeting minutes, that's
It
why.
wasn't brought to, because I submitted it and then we had to remove them before our
Yeah, we
submission.
had this like.
So we never-
little cell back and
Oh,
forth.
so it never came to us.
A lot
Yeah,
of
Oh,
things
okay.
happened that
Okay.
we just won't go
Sounds
into,
like
but it was difficult, and we're trying to get them straightened out. So if we could back up and revisit the signage for 624, right? Okay, so that's COA 2022-020. So it was approved last month for decals and the blade sign on the corner. And you just approved it for the sign across the front. So, now the applicant is asking, because we didn't get this included on this one right here, and I'm sorry about that. There was just a lot of conversation and it didn't all get captured like it should have. To not have the blade sign, instead have a sign on the south side like was just approved for the other half of the store. So that's what they're asking for now.
So would we need to allow removal of the blade or require removal of the blade?
Is it there right now?
It's just the hole in it, right?
There's just
It's just the-
hole right now.
So that too, like, I don't know how that's gonna look when it's removed with the brick, and
No. I mean, it's ideal to have it removed, but they didn't put it there, so.
Right.
But it's just, saying that we don't approve, we deny now the blade sign on the corner, so that's not gonna happen. And
so
then
do you feel like that blade sign would just be,
It'd be too much.
It's just too much.
Yeah,
I
if you're
think.
gonna have a sign on the side and in the front and then the blade sign, to me, that would be
That's-
very confusing.
I feel like that's too many. I mean, they generally recommend signs for building at 2, either one on either side of the building or a major sign, a primary and a secondary on the front. So that 3 would just be more than what we normally allow.
so like if I'm looking at the neighbors who just got approved, they have on the huge window, they have a huge decal that goes up and down that window. And to me, that is no different than my small little blade sign that blends into the building, because I just have one little decal on my window now, because we removed the company name off the window.
Or if the blade sign didn't have their name, but said real estate or something, so it wasn't redundant, would that be okay?
I also think it's very confusing because there are now 2 real estate companies next door to each other, and so someone should know where to go in, and I feel like that blade sign.
So you guys aren't together?
You know, this is,
Well,
I'm
couldn't
sorry.
you-
No, I don't blame you. I mean, I can totally sense your frustration. I'm like, wow, I'm
yeah,
just
it's like I'm,
Couldn't the name be part of the
Holy moly.
storefront window, or is that's too much on there?
I think that is a lot. Like our sold with a little heart is kind of like our tagline. So I just like, honestly, when you look at that drawing, the way that he did the sign sideways like that on the blade, it really does look very nice. But, and I was totally okay with that, but then I can't, and no offense to Justin, but I can't have the person who's not even in that building next to me then put a sign on the building that's lit up. So now I'm having to spend triple the amount of money to do this.
So are you representing the other company?
No, he is. I'm
sorry,
representing
I was-
myself who's next door.
Simco, I'm with Simco, so I'm
So
like,
he's doing.
you're doing all the signs.
He's our site
Yeah, but
person,
nobody
yeah.
from that company is here.
Justin's not here.
Listing leaders.
I'm here on his,
Yeah, and he came on my behalf last time too,
Right.
but I just didn't go well, and so I'm missing my son's championship basketball game to be here to do this, and I'm just like, I'm sorry if I sound frustrated.
You have every right. I mean,
First of all, I'm shocked she'd rent to 2 realtors.
That's what I was just saying to myself. Why did Carol do that? Why would she rent to?
And we have to share bathrooms, so there's that. But luckily we're friends and we're in the same business together, so that's wonderful, you know, that, it's fine, it really is. There's a lot of real estate companies on the street, and the fact that we're next door is, it's a moot point. But as far as signage goes, you know, it makes it more complicated.
Yeah, they should be
You
equal.
look at down on the other end of town, you got two major hardware stores right next to them.
That's just what happens,
And
yeah.
did you know when the one was building the other, the one that was being built couldn't go to the other one to get supplies?
That's funny.
They were directed not to.
That's funny.
Wow.
That's
Yes.
crazy. I believe it.
That's what I heard at least.
Wow.
Okay, so now we've got,
Now we know the whole story.
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if you want to pull up the picture from the neighboring side to see their signage compared to our window decals. You know, we have nothing on the front windows, just our little sold with the heart, compared to the, do you have that?
I've got a question here. When we
that's
say
ours, yeah, that's the
blade, is this
picture,
what we're talking about? That little sign?
Yeah, that's the blade
It's a
sign.
little bit one.
Which, it's already up and it looks good.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it was up already.
What's up?
Your blade sign.
Oh, the,
Yeah.
the frame is.
the frame is.
Oh,
Not the
okay.
sign.
Not
Oh,
the
okay.
sign,
All right.
because we have to do the COA for the painting, which I definitely apologize for. I own
a historical building in Chesterton, and we've never had to do that, and so it was just the paint was chipping, it was a big ordeal.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is our neighbor, and so he's doing all this writing here on the side, which to me is bigger than a blade sign. And we're just doing the small little sold with the heart here. So I'm not putting anything on the front of the window besides that little sold with the heart, and that could be smaller if need be to then still have that blade sign. I don't want to be responsible for taking that down and damaging a building I don't own, and I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't look great with nothing on it.
Yeah.
We also have some kind of metal attached to the building on the right side. I noticed when I was planting flowers, and I emailed the Bank of England people to say, did you have something on here? What was this? Like, I don't know what this metal is. So, yeah, I mean, we've been really trying to clean it up. I think it looks
Yeah, it
great
does
outside.
look-
I planted flowers. I just need my signs.
Yeah.
Right.
It does look good. The
Yeah.
inside looks good too.
Thank
I noticed. I'm across the street.
Oh, are you? Okay.
I'm Good News Vintage.
Yeah, and
so I'm
Dustin's
seeing
looks
everything.
beautiful too. They just finished
Yeah,
painting
it
it,
looks
so we
nice.
are like it's gonna be something there.
Good. I say we.
So now everything is clear as mud to everybody, right? Do you have any questions?
I don't have questions. I think we should. I think she should be able to have that sign just like listing meters. I mean, there's no.
Which of you two are 22?
Yeah.
Well, we've already approved that.
I don't have a number. I don't know which one. She's 22. He's 622.
Okay, and you're 624.
I'm 24.
So that means that you're on the left-hand side, right?
I am closest to the south corner.
On the right,
She's on the
right hand
south.
side. if you
She's
look
on the
at it.
corner.
South.
South, that means left side, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's confusing.
yeah.
Okay. So that's, I don't know. But we're thinking it's too busy with the blade.
A lot of signs, but it's not,
But you know what, it's
No,
a
it's
black
small.
sign. It's very tasteful. It's not like it's a lot of busy colors and letters. I think it's,
And if you're walking from the north, you're gonna see it.
you're gonna see, yeah, I don't think it's, I don't think it's too much. If it was lit and it was crazy, you know,
And I
looking
think
at
when we did it like going sideways,
Yeah.
because I thought, how are we gonna fit a sign in there? When he did it going sideways, it looks
It looks
different than
really-
that sign. I'm
yeah.
like, oh, that is awesome. I
It
wouldn't have
looks
thought
good.
of that.
Yeah, I think that's I
Let
think
it
it's
ride,
fine.
let it ride.
and the frame is there and it
It's
will
there.
be there, which isn't the most attractive feature all by
If it's
itself.
empty, it just
So
looks like there's
that.
something
So what
missing.
would you put on that?
It's on the proposal. We had
Blank.
submitted it last month, and it was approved
It was
last month,
approved last
pending the
month, so-
painting.
I don't know.
The painting seal.
So that and the decals are already approved.
So it's, sorry. It's, I can bring it around if that, it's like that.
There you go.
And that's already been approved.
Correct.
That was approved.
Yeah, I think that's,
When they tore this building down.
Because they were told they couldn't have signs
Part
on the
of the
front.
contract. so
Right.
this is a big finish.
Okay,
Accurate.
you want to see that?
let's just see it.
Oh, yeah, that's what I had.
Yeah, that's what we already approved, so, okay.
It's on.
So I think then you're
Is this
just
part of
asking to,
a COA, or are we sua sponte creating one?
they're wanting to add to 2022-20, add a sign on the south side. Like what was just approved for the other part of their building.
And
So it
last
would
month
just
I
go-
did submit a south side sign that didn't make it to the meeting.
Right. I have her paperwork
And- yeah.
from last month and it never made it here.
Let's do
And that
this.
was not my fault.
But-
We'll just say that.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure it's the exact same size, but I can double check that.
I think that's what
as-
his
as-
remember
as
is.
his,
So there would be
'cause-
two signs,
Two
same size.
on the south side of the building.
But that one we got right here.
And although it's
with
two
Blake.
different businesses, he is doing both of our signs, so like,
They'll
we
be
make sure that
cohesive,
they're,
yeah, so they won't
the
look.
same size and.
So that's what we're talking about. Two lit signs on the south side of the building for both businesses. The blade sign has already been approved.
It's already been
That
approved.
was done last month.
This would definitely be unfair if she's on that south side
And that's-
and his sign is on the side, come on.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
But for
And it's gonna add light.
procedural purposes, what are we approving?
You are
I mean, there's
approving,
nothing submitted, so we're kind of
right. We can
initiating.
say that the applicant has added to COA 2022-20, has added a sign on the south side of the building. And that's what you need to make a motion to add that.
Any specific description or dimension
yeah.
or?
It
so-
is, yes.
The same dimension as the neighboring sign, and it will be black and white.
Right,
with-
it would be,
Like he showed us before.
where is that sign?
It'll-
It is 36 by
I
96
should have
inch.
it in my email.
A 36 by 96 inch metal sign
With the letters lit.
with the letters lit.
Well, that all sounds reasonable. So if you have that description, I'll make a motion to approve that.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same. Thank you.
Yay.
We're sorry for all the confusion.
Now you can move forward. Get it done.
Hey Deb,
Yes.
wouldn't you agree architecturally that the time that
In
they tore
our
the Spalding
Chesterton.
building down, there should have been a clause in that contract to tear it down to finish that wall?
Yes.
Look how long ago that was.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes, yeah, it should have been.
Why in the world they ever
We
let
don't
that
know
go
how
like
the
that.
city ever let that
Terrible.
happen, but they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many years ago was that?
Oh.
I mean, the Spalding Hotel's been gone for years, right?
Here's my.
Probably 20,
Originally, yeah.
maybe more than that.
There's some wonky stuff there that's going on in this town. Wonky.
From the south side.
I think.
That's $30,000 or whatever.
There's been all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Working for you.
For Pilaster or for?
Yeah, I don't know, yeah, probably what it would be.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Oh, gosh, that would be terrible. Okay, we're in maintenance review for 521 Franklin Street.
Those were not done by me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I'm sorry, I don't know anything about them, except it says roof, so I'm assuming it was a replacement in
Yeah,
kind, so.
yeah. Okay, what did I skip?
Yes, that's what it says. No, yes.
Sometime before.
Proposed work is repair in kind.
So which one did I
Same with the
not
next
do?
one too.
Oh, I thought you said, I missed you, I'm sorry. Okay, so we really, that would be, been done by the, it's got Aaron's.
Yeah, it states on there.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you. Yep, thank you. You'll get a letter in the mail confirming all that. Okay, yeah. A little more concisely than we did it here.
So do I wait for the letter to submit the permits, or do
Yeah,
I?
you'll need the letter to submit.
Okay, and then they mail it
So
to me.
I got conflicting information as well from the city. Does he have to have a permit for the window stickers? Because I said no for stickers, but yes for signage.
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
think
he just
that's
wanted to
correct.
verify, and then I
No,
called
I
back.
think-
And I talked to Sue, because she
Yeah.
ran
Sue
through,
will know.
did our
She's-
fire,
Sue is
our
excellent.
fire
great,
thing,
yes.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I'll make sure, okay.
She'll know, and I'll email you the letter, so you'll get it quicker that
Oh,
way,
awesome.
okay?
Thank you so much. Bye, guys, have a good night.
Okay. Any
So far,
committee
everyone's
reports?
happy.
Should do about nothing, you
We're
know?
doing, getting things done.
Had more
Move
headaches
forward.
in the last 2 weeks. You want to talk
And
about
like I said, I'm shocked that this woman would rent to 2 real estate agents. But
She'd what?
she rented to, yeah, they've been empty, so she rented to
Doesn't matter.
two
in rent,
real estate
so whatever.
But no one's, we don't have any, there's not very many entrepreneurs out there that are trying to start small businesses in downtown Michigan
Was that
City.
the New England Bank was not in there anymore?
Bank of England, no, they're
Gone.
gone.
gone. And the other side's been gone for a long time.
Yeah, it's been empty.
Okay,
Yeah.
everybody get the commission training? And my thing is, how are we gonna do this if we don't have a representative?
Let's, put this on hold then until next meeting.
Policies and procedures.
We discussed most of it already.
Yeah, we did.
Over and over.
Are you right? I was gonna say, it's been pretty redundant, but I know he wanted to change it. I remember
Well, I
Aaron saying
think
he
he
wanted to
did,
change
I thought he
something.
did. But I can't remember what it was gonna change, but, did everyone have a chance to look at this?
On
The policies and procedures?
the commission public hearing, since the meeting is called to order, staff presents policies, the applicant presents to the commission, staff presents to the commission.
And we wanted that,
Change
Those are the two that we
yeah,
just
Yep.
we
reversed
reverse those, yeah,
on the policies and procedures.
right,
No.
yeah.
But I do have a question, because if you just present it from a staff presentation and with approval or denial or conditions or whatever, and then we go take a vote, then I don't know that the applicant's even here, we don't hear from the applicant, so there should be at least some introduction of the applicant.
Well, that's why we always ask if anybody's here from that.
What most commissions do is first they ask for the staff report. And then once that's done, they ask if anybody's here right away before there's any discussion. Is there anybody here to represent that? And then if there is, they have to give their name and then they say, you know, was that correct? Is there more you would like to add or any corrections you'd like to make? And then they speak and they can go on for however long. And then you guys discuss it after that.
So after staff presents, then
Then they
ask and introduce the applicant for comment. Obviously,
Yeah.
if you're recommending approval, there's not much further to say.
Right.
But at least
yeah.
introduce themselves so we know they're
seems
here. and
appropriate.
Have anything to
Thank
add?
you or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we require them to come.
Yeah.
And then we need to give them opportunity to at least say, yes, that's my project, and they summed it up well, or they could say, well, that's
Now,
most of it, but we want to do it this way.
Let me ask.
So we are going to switch those two.
Yeah.
So it will be the commissioner, will present, and then the applicant. So that was number 3.
And then he's saying, in between those two, introduce
Introduce them.
or ask.
You
if
ask
there's
if
anyone
anybody's here, like there wasn't anybody when I asked about one.
Noel Carlson. was-
Yeah, he wasn't here, so,
Yeah.
Do we want to enforce attendance or just
I don't
waive
think,
that?
I don't think we can.
We can deny it. If they're not here and you
Yeah.
guys have questions, we can deny it for
That's-
lack of
Or
representation.
hold it.
But we can't say
Or
you
could do
have to
that.
be here.
Yeah.
It's in their best interest though, and if
Right.
it gets denied a couple times, then they realize, well, I guess I should show up.
Yeah.
That's true.
I try to remind them of that when I do a site visit, because I'll say, be here if you can. Well, I've got a conflict. Does it matter? I said, well, if they have a question, they can deny it. It doesn't mean they will, but they could. That inspires people.
You tell them, Deb. Tell them, we're cracking down.
So, I wonder why do we have C?
Hybrid meeting, for the COVID thing, if we were gonna do, call in, let people call in for the
Yeah, weren't
meeting.
they, wasn't the city doing?
Something was gonna change, so we kept pushing it back.
Yeah.
I don't know what-
Yeah.
I don't know
And I
if they
haven't
did
heard
whatever that
anything.
was.
And
Skylar's supposed to be here next month in our
Yes.
meeting, so
he's on
he
vacation.
can answer that. He's at a conference, I think.
Yeah. So, couple of these things we really won't be able to, and then John is so excellent about getting us our minutes that, if you think of something that maybe we need to add, let us know. But for some of these other things, there's nothing we can really do, so I'm gonna ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A second, please. Second. All right, and I'm assuming we're all in favor.
All in favor?
All right.
Did I say so?